Okay, we are done with result set metadata interface. We'll go on to a new topic. Have the heading parameterized queries. Parameterized queries in Java. Parameterized queries. Now, you know what is a parameterized query? Like, when you do not give your parameters, and instead of your parameters, when you give an unknown value like question mark, you say it is a parameterized query. I do not give a value like an comma 1. Instead, I give an unknown value, a question mark. It can be anything. So those kind of queries are called parameterized queries. In Java, to do parameterized queries, you do have an interface called prepared statement. The prepared statement interface in Java, it helps you to work with parameterized queries in JDBC. P is caps, S is caps. Okay, you can give any set of parameter values. You can give new parameter values. You can give any number of parameter values using your prepared statement. And it is said that when you use the prepared statement interface, the program performance will be higher than you using the normal statement. Okay, you already in your programs you use statement. Okay, create a statement. So when you use prepared statement instead of the normal statement, performance is said to be higher as the query doesn't need to be repeatedly combined. Okay, and when you use the parameterized queries, you can accept input parameters at the runtime. We will be seeing all that with the help of the program. Now, before we go into how to do a parameterized query, please have the various methods in parameterized queries. Now, the methods are very simple. You do have a 4 set of methods. It's the same thing. For integer values, you have setInt. For string values, you have setString. For float values, you have setFloat. And for double values, you have setDouble. Be it whichever set method, you will be having 2 parameters. One will be the index and one will be the value. If it is setInt, the second one will be int. If it is setString method, the second will be of string data type. If it is a setFloat method, the second parameter will be float. If it is setDouble, the second parameter will be double data type. Be it whichever, just like your normal statement, you'll have execute update and execute query. So these are the things which we use normally: execute update and execute query. The only 4 new methods you have in prepared interface are setInt, setString, setFloat, and setDouble. So we'll see that with the help of a program. Let's start doing a program. I'll click a new one, new class. Let's say parameterized query. Parameterized query. I'll just copy from somewhere. Just copy this whole code. Control V. Para. P is caps, right? Paraquery. Okay. So I'm starting to write my program. Steps, everything is the same. I register the driver. I create a connection object. Okay. Now I'll start doing my program. I don't have an employee. Okay. No, we will start doing the program. So have a question. Write down a question. With the help of parameterized queries, enter values into a table with the help of parameterized queries. Enter values into a table. Hope the question is fine with you. Using parameterized queries, enter values into a table. So first thing what I have to do is I have to create a table. Okay, so I'll create a table. Okay, so let's even have a table. Create a table called employee or student, or let's say employee. Create a table called employee, which has employee ID and employee name. Okay, we'll create a table called employee, which has employee ID. Okay, a table called employee, which has EMP ID and EMP name. Okay, we'll create a table, and now you have to even insert values into the table using parameters. Okay, so this is the question. So let's first, what we have to do is first we have to create a table. So I'll just create a table, stmt dot execute update. I'll write a query, create table, let's say EMP table, create EMP, EMP ID is int, not null, and then EMP name is varchar 20. Okay, I've ended up with a semicolon. Okay, so now I have created a table called employee, which has employee ID, int not null, and even employee name, which is varchar. I've created a very simple table, and now the first part is over. This part is over. Now they're telling insert values into the table using parameters. Now before we do before we do with parameter queries, I'll just quickly revise how you insert normally. So insert normally, you simply give a execute update. Okay, execute update, and you write a query. So this is how you normally do it. Insert into table. Insert into, what is the table name? EMP. Insert into EMP what? Values. Let's say Joshni, EMP ID, right? EMP ID. So I'll just give 100, comma, Joshni. Joshni is in single quotes, sorry. Joshni is in single quotes. I'll close the bracket. Yeah, looks good. Let me just check. Insert into EMP values, 100, single quote, bracket. Did I miss a bracket? No. Looks good. Yeah, okay. Now, I'll even... So this is how you normally create a table, and you insert values into a table. You can go on writing insert into EMP values, 100, 200, 300. Now this is the normal way how you insert values into a table. But that is not the question. We've got to do it via parameterized query. So let one record, let it be like that normally. The remaining, let's say we'll add 3 more records. Okay, the remaining 3 records we will add using parameterized queries, so that you will get to know the difference between a normal query, a normal statement, and a prepared statement. Now, to use parameterized queries, you should use the interface called prepared statement. Prepared statement. I'll just give a PST equal to connection dot. The same way how you create a statement, you even create a prepared statement. So I'll write create statement. Create statement. Okay, now look here. The same way you create a statement object, you even create a statement object for a prepared statement. The only difference is when you create a prepared statement, you should have the query together with your creation. So now here, what am I planning to do? I am planning to insert. So I'll write insert into EMP values. Okay, so this is what I'm planning to do. Create statement. What is there a problem over here? Not create statement. Sorry, it is prepare statement because I'm using a prepare. Okay, because it is a prepared statement, the method is prepare statement. Okay, now I'm going to use parameter values. Now usually when you insert values, you give 100 Joshni, 200 Anne, and so on. But here I do not know what the values are. Okay, so I give question mark, comma, question mark. I give here question mark, comma, question mark. Such a query, you call it a parameterized query. Okay, you're not very sure about what happens inside, but anyway, you know that two things will be there inside the value field, but you will be telling it later, might be at runtime or somewhere down in the program, you will be telling what are these question marks. Why do I have only 2 question marks over here? I do have 2 question marks only over here because my table has only 2 fields. If I had 3 fields, I would have given question mark and so on. But anyway, I do have only 2 fields. So that is why I stopped with 2 question marks. Okay. Now let us insert into the table values. Now I have an object called PST. Now to insert values, you will be using, now look here, what is my first field? It is int. Okay. So I'll have set int. First field is int. Emp id is int. So I write set int. Okay, now I'm going to give value for my first field. So I write 1, comma, index. Okay, this is my first field. Okay, emp id. So I write here 1, comma. I can give my field name. Let's say I'll give 200. So I've set value for my first field. Now, Joshni, tell me, what is my second field? What is the data type of my second field?
Character.
It is a varchar. So what is the method which I will use? PST dot set string. Okay. And what is the parameter index? Which field is this? Which field is this? It is the second field. Okay. So I write 2, comma. I can give in a value over here. Like let's say I given a value called N. Okay. Now I have, with the help of my parameters, with the help of a parameterized queries, I have set fields for my first variable, which is emp id, and even for my second variable, which is emp name. Okay, this is the parameter index, and this is the value. Okay, look here, I'll just take back my PPT. I'll take back my PPT. Set int. The first field will be the index and the second field will be the value. Set string. The first will be the index and the second will be the value. Okay, so that is what I've done. Set int, parameter value, set string, parameter value. Now, once you have set values for a particular row, you have to execute your query. Okay, so I'll write, excuse me, I'll have to execute my query. So I will write pst.execute update. Okay, because I'm changing it's not a select query. I'll give execute update. What happened? pst. Okay, no error, fine. Okay, so I've set the values and now I am executing my update. The same way I can give n number of queries. Okay, I'll just copy paste 200 instead. Now I'm adding a third value instead of 300, and I'll give Harita. Okay, now 300. Let's say this is the fourth one. instead of an, let's say I'll give a value called Alshin and so on. The only thing you need to keep in mind is after setting values for each row, you should be giving execute update. Otherwise, what will happen is if you do not give an execute update over here, imagine I don't have this execute update over here. I don't have this execute update over here. And imagine only at the end, if you get execute update, only Alshin will be updated in your table. But you not only want Alshin, you want an also to be updated. So, you know, after that and row, there should be an execute update. You even want Harita to be updated. Okay, so even after that Harita row, there should be an execute update and so on. So I've inserted one row, Joshni. I went it for the normal conventional way. All these I did via my parameterized queries. Okay, this I've done parameterized query. This I've done parameterized query, and even this I've done parameterized queries. Let's finish off the program. Okay, so our main job is done. Let me just check. Connection. Okay, I'll just give an SOP. I'm happy when there are SOPs over there. Just give something. Records updated. Otherwise, the console will look very empty. I don't like empty consoles. Okay, so I'll save my program. Let me just open up my SQL Plus. It's already open. Let me check whether I already have a table called employee. I do have employees. Employees is the built-in table in HR. By the way, what was our table name? EMP. Anyway, we don't have a table called EMP. So I'll execute my program. I'll run my program. I'll save it. I'll run my program. Okay, they're telling me records updated, but you know, I'm never happy with that. I'll go back to my, okay. Joshni, hope you're able to see my SQL Plus.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, earlier I didn't have an EMP table. I just had employees. So first thing what we have to do is check whether you got something called EMP. Yeah, there is an EMP. And now we need 4 records. We need 4 records inside our EMP. Select star from EMP. Yeah, all the 4 have been done. Joshni, I went for the conventional old school method. All these I did prepared statement, parameterized queries. So this is how you insert values into a table using parameterized queries. Okay, so this is how you work with parameterized queries. Same, just 5 steps you have. In my create the statement object, I even created a bit more advanced statement called prepared statement so that I can work with my parameterized queries. The parameterized query I'm planning to work is inserting. So I gave question mark. And then I'm one I did normal conventional way, and the other 3 rows I did in the parameterized way. Okay. Have a question. Using parameterized queries, update roll number, where roll number 2, okay, roll number 2. What is roll number 2? What do we have? We do have Harita, okay. Instead of roll number 2 Harita, have another name, okay. Roll number 2, whoever is having roll number 2, update roll number 2 name to Sahiba. Okay, using parameterized queries. Okay, so which means, you know, I'll just delete off all this. We're not going to do this anymore. We've done with insertion. We are done with insertion. I will take my SQL Plus. So this is my question. Not roll number 2, roll number 300. Okay, just a minute. Roll number 300. Roll number 300. Update it to Sahiba, which means, okay, update query where MPID is equal to 300, update the employee name from Harita to Sahiba. You have to work with parameterized queries. Let's see how you do it. Anyway, we do not want to create table because we have already created a table, because if you again have this query over here in the program, they will say table already constructed and you will get an exception. So I'll just do off with that query. You do not want this query, execute update. Okay, my old conventional query. Okay, I'll just do away with that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to update. I'm going to have an update query. Okay, so let's come here. Same 5 steps. I already have a table called EMP. Okay, PST. I'm not going to insert values anymore into my tables. I am going to work on an update query. Okay, so inside your prepare statement, you will have an update query. Hope you remember how to update. Update table name, set. Oh, what is the table name? Just a minute. What is the field name? EMP name, EMP ID. Okay, good. Okay, set EMP name. EMP name equal to parameterized query. Okay, you don't give the value of the query over here. Wherever you need to give values, you will be giving question mark. Set employee name is equal to something. Okay, where employee ID is equal to something. Okay, so this employee name, I need to set it to Sahiba. Okay, where employee ID is equal to something, that employee ID is equal to 300. So now I need to fill up my 2 question marks. So how do you fill up your question marks? Okay, to fill up your question marks, you have, what is the first one? Employee name, isn't it? Employee name is the first question mark, which is the set string. Okay, it is set string. Okay, that is my first index, my index number 1, and this is my index number 2. Okay, set string 1, employee name is equal to what? Employee name is equal to Haritha. Okay, so I filled up my first question mark, the first variable, the first parameter. The next is employee ID. Employee ID, that is my second parameter. What is employee ID? Employee ID, I've set it as an integer. Okay, that is my second parameter. So which number should I check? I should check a number called 300. So I give 2, 300. So I've filled up all the question marks. The first set, okay, oh, sorry. Set it to Sahiba, right? Yeah, sorry. Earlier it was Haritha? Yeah. I need to change it to Sahiba, yeah. So set name. I'm setting it to Sahiba, where employee ID is equal to 300. So this is my first question mark, my first parameter. Okay, my first parameter which I gave in a question mark, and this is my second question mark, my second unknown. This is my first unknown, this is my second unknown. Okay, I'll just record updated. Okay, fine. Okay, I need to execute update, pst dot execute update, pst dot execute update. Okay, so I'll save my program. I'll just check from the beginning. I'll just make changes over here. Update EMP set. Okay, looks good. Bracket, yeah, no errors. Okay, this is fine. Execute update, yeah, things are there. I'll just run my program. Okay, anyway, I'm getting this, so no errors in my program. But I'll have to check my table. Haritha should have changed to Sahiba from EMP. Yeah, perfect. Haritha is now changed to Sahiba. Okay, so hope the output was fine. So this is what I've done. I've created a prepared statement to work on my parameterized queries. I'm not working on insert anymore. I'm working on update. And I've got 2 unknown parameters, the first parameter, the second parameter. The first parameter, I wanted to change Haritha to Sahiba, to set it to Sahiba. So I've got Sahiba over here. Employee ID, 300. I've set my second int to 300, and then I've executed update. I will not run my program again. If I run my program again, I will get an exception because it's already been updated. And now, no, there's no point because Sahiba will again be made Sahiba again. So have a new question. Delete. What do you want to delete? Just a minute. Delete. Let me take my table and see what's there to delete. Okay, have a question. From the given employee table, delete employee ID, delete the record which has employee ID is equal to 100. Delete record whose EMP ID is equal to 100. Okay, so things are very easy. I will not write the program. Joshni, you will tell me which all line numbers I have a change. So Joshni, tell me which all line numbers will I have a change?
എൻ്റെ നെയിം മാറ്റണ്ടേ ഡിലീറ്റ് ചെയ്യണ്ടേ എംപ്ലോയി ID 100.
Okay, which query are you going to work on, Joshni? Which query are you going to work upon? You are going to work upon a delete query.
Delete.
So where should you write the delete query? You should first make a statement for that. Agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
So the first statement, you have to change this. You are no longer going to work on a create or update. Instead, you are going to work on a delete query. Okay, what do you want to delete? Delete from table name.
Table name.
Where EMP ID is equal to 100. So this is the query you're going to work upon. Delete from emp where EMP ID is not 100, parameterized query. So you will be giving a question mark over here. Okay. Now tell me, how many unknown parameters do you have? You have only one unknown parameter. What should you do? Should you delete any lines? Or I'll just delete of this and tell me what should I do? Joshni, dictate. I will write what you tell me. You have an unknown called question mark. Okay. Now, explain that question mark. What should you write? What should you write? This question
PST.
Mark. Yeah, perfect. PST dot. Set. Okay. What is it? Emp ID? Is it an int or is it a string or what? It is an
int.
Int. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. What is the parameter index of EMP ID?
100.
No. What is the parameter? One. Parameter index is
1.
Equal to. Parameter index is 1 because it is the first unknown. It is the first unknown. Okay. So X, what should you give? What is the parameter value? 100. Perfect. So that's it. That's it. Okay. Not record updated. I'll have record deleted. So that's all. Delete from EMP.
Ma'am, delete in a spell.
Okay. Delete from EMP where EMP ID is equal to unknown, a parameterized query. And now here I do have only one unknown, only one question mark, only one parameter unknown. So I just have one PST set statement. I'll run my program. That 100 record should not be there. Let me check if there's an error. Okay, there's no error. I'll go back to my select star from EMP. Yeah. Joshni, I deleted away you. Joshni is no longer there. Hope the output is fine.